All right, we finally made it. We're alive.
Yes, we are here.
Yeah, we're here.
Um, Fucking PGN podcast episode 80. You're like one behind, Kofi. You sent me last week 78. We're on 79. You
Hmm.
sent me this week 79. We're on 80. So
Yeah,
update that. Update
yeah.
that. But yeah, we're here. Appreciate Kofi and Za having patience with me today. I was in PA doing some family stuff. I got back a little later than I thought I would be, but yo, we're making it happen. We're here. We're here
Yeah.
to touch on the hottest topics, sports topics of the week. But how was your week before we get going?
The week was fine. It was kind of short because we had work on Thursday, so it was just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Loved it. Got to see some fireworks. Nothing much, nothing crazy. Got to see some people. That's about it.
Yeah, word. How are you, Kofi? How was your week?
Yes, yeah, same with me. Yeah, when I wasn't here last Sunday because one of my good friends, her son, graduated high school, so that's where I was at. I've known him since because he's my friend from Yankee Stadium, so I've known him since he was a little kid. So
Wow.
he now graduated high school. It's crazy. So congrats to Dylan, by the way. So.
Nice.
And last week, obviously, Yakoi touched on. I mean, St. Zah touched on last week. Our high school closed down, so it was fun to, get to reminisce, see some people I haven't seen like since graduation, even before that. So,
Hmm.
just good to see that as well. I mean, obviously, don't want to see the school closed down, but obviously, this situation with Catholic schools. So, salute once again to ICHS in Montclair. So,
Word, word, word. Same shit with me, man. Work, gym, show my son. Yo, we don't do shit, yo. Every week we don't do shit.
pretty much, yeah.
We in the fucking house just grinding all the fucking time.
That's all you can do.
Right at this age.
Life
Yeah.
calls.
Fuck that going out shit, fucking drinking and shit. But
I
it's what
wish.
it is. Let's get to these topics now so we can bang this shit out real quick.
All right, the big story, NBA free agency. So how we're gonna do this? We're just gonna, touch on the big acquisitions and trades. So we'll start with the biggest one that really shocked everybody when the Milwaukee Bucks they signed Miles Turner to a 4-year, $107 million contract, and in a corresponding move, they waived Damian Lillard using the stretch provision. So I guess my question would be, do you think this move makes the Bucks an Eastern Conference contender or no?
No,
All right, sorry, you say Zah. I saw you shake your head. So sorry.
absolutely not. Listen, I like Miles Turner, and I feel like he's a really good pickup. But now they have no point guard.
Yeah.
Now, um, I kind of feel bad for Giannis because now you don't know what Giannis is going to do because these aren't the moves that he probably won. He probably still wanted Dame, and it doesn't make any sense. You're still paying Dame's still on the books for the next 4 to 5 years, so you're still paying him. So now you can't get pieces. You're still doing this. You have Miles Turner. He's a big, but the Bucks are just kind of in flux right now. I get it. They're trying to make moves to keep Giannis, but if I'm Giannis, it might be time to look elsewhere because this was a desperate team move. You threw money at a Miles Turner where I'm like, yo, he's good. Nah, it ain't. This ain't it. This ain't the move. Giannis, go somewhere else, bro. Listen, you once again don't stay too long somewhere, because then you won't get anywhere. Get out while you can. That's all I gotta say on that one.
Yeah. I think the hard part is that Giannis ain't gonna make the money that he's making in Milwaukee if he goes
Mm,
anywhere else. So that's the issue with Giannis there. He has a ring already, so he could take the cheaper money. I know in his heart of hearts right now, from what we see, he wants to go to a big market team. You know what I mean? Uh, Most likely, preferably, it looks like New York
hmm
is the preferred spot he wants to go to. I know he wouldn't mind going to LA, but I know they don't have any money at all.
Nope.
But to go to any of those teams, you're looking at probably what he has this last year of his contract here.
No, I
This
think he has 2 years left.
2 years left.
2 years left. So is he really gonna have to wait 2 years to get out? And then right now, if you do trade him, he basically paid a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trading Giannis, you have to trade one of your big time players. If you want to come to the Knicks right now, you have to trade Cat, or you gotta trade Mikal Bridges and fucking Miles McBride and another player with some fucking, you know what I mean? You gotta
Yeah.
trade a lot of your players, or trade one big player. So I don't know if teams are gonna be willing to do that, unless you're like not a big market team. You know what I mean? If you're like, let's say the Spurs, you know what I mean? You could trade Harrison Barnes and Stephon Castle and Keldon Johnson with a bunch of draft picks and get that done. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But would Giannis want to go to fucking San Antonio? That's
Oof.
the issue here. And if Giannis goes there, are they automatic contenders now? Are they? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. So I don't know. I don't think it does anything really for Milwaukee. Like we said, they don't have the point guard now. So what do you do with that? I think we'll probably touch on this, but the Mavs signed D'Angelo Russell. You know what I mean? He's a pit stop until fucking Kyrie comes back.
Yep.
And Kofi just said in the chat earlier that Kyrie's going to take his sweet ass time
He's not
to
coming
come
back
back.
anytime soon. Yeah.
So the Bucks missed out on that. You know what I mean? Instead of trying to find a point guard for now that's cheap, until they figure it out, they just said, fuck it. We're going to sign Miles Turner and just go with no point guard. But I saw a list out there. There's point guards out there that you can probably pick up. I saw a list today. It was like Malcolm Brogdon. It was like,
Yep.
Cameron Payne's out there. I guess you got some guys that you kind of fucking, hey, we got Miles Turner. We got fucking Giannis. Just put a guy there who can just dribble the ball to the court and just get into their hands. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's probably the only chance. Also, probably the only fucking choice they got right now. And I don't know if that's going to be enough to, go anywhere in the playoffs.
Damn shame.
Yeah, I think I think Milwaukee's just looking at situations like, all right, the Celtics are probably they're not extending, they're pretty much going to be out. The Pacers are probably going to be out. So it's like, hey, you know what? Let's get in that top six. Maybe if we get a matchup that we like in the first round, maybe we can win that first round matchup, and we'll see from there. I think that's what they're thinking. And it looks like from recent reports, Giannis was the one that wanted Turner. So I guess he's going to stay at least this year. So we'll see how it plays out on that end.
Yeah.
He wants to half the season gets in, he'll know what he wants to do for the next season. Like he'll test it out. He'll be like, yo, how's it going for the first 40-some games? And when I'm telling you, once they hit that wall, Giannis is gonna start thinking about the next season. He's gonna think about where I'm gonna go. And because that's what players do. Like, yeah, I want Miles Turner, but if it don't work out, I'm gonna look somewhere else.
And you never know. You do another year. What if right now the Knicks looking good, but what if Cat don't work out? What if someone don't work out? You know what I mean? You never know.
Yep.
So we'll see how that goes.
Now on the Dame end, obviously he tore his Achilles, so I guess the question would be he probably wants to go back closer to Portland because that's where his family still lives there. So I'm sure he's probably looking, okay, which team I can sign for the cheap, and then I don't know if he's playing next year. Probably not. So you're probably looking at a 2-year signing there. So where do you think Dame should go, in your opinion?
Dame should go anywhere he wants that makes him happy. People are saying like Miami because now he doesn't have to bag it. But I'm just like, I don't know who's gonna pick him up. He's too injury prone, bro. You're talking about 2 seasons. And remember, not only that, he has to get back into basketball shape. It's not just about the injury, it's about how does he get back to playing Dame type of ball. And remember, he's older. He's 36. He ain't young. He ain't young chicken no more, bro. Like, so I think if he does want to go back to Portland, I think that's when he probably knows, like, hey, it's kind of winding down. Let me go get my love from Portland. Let me go get my jersey retired. Let me go do my statue. So I think that's why he's probably choosing Portland. I think he kind of knows the writing's on the wall, kind of like Chris Paul. Like they're all gonna go places where they can get the most love because, bro, Father Time's being everyone. Not everyone's LeBron James. Not everyone's like that. Like, yo, these players' careers, these Achilles injuries are happening like that, and his recovery time's going to be even longer. Remember, he was already dealing with the blood clots, so now he got that Achilles injury, bro.
Yeah.
His family might be talking to him like, "Yo, bro, I think
Time
this
to
might
wrap
be
it up.
Time to wrap it up, bro. Go be a father. Go do something else.
And nobody has run to pick him up. No one's
Nope.
running to like, hey, you know what? We'll sign you, rehab with us, chill with us. You know what I'm saying? Come back after a year and a half and see what happens. You know, no one's rushing. So I
Nope.
guess everybody's gonna just wait till he works out. Wait till they see how it is. How the workout. Once he's healed, they'll probably bring him in for some workouts, see what he got, and they'll probably take it from there and see what happens. But as far as what team, going to West Coast somehow. You know what I'm saying? If you play for Sacramento or something, play for be back up for Golden State or some shit until Steph. You know what I'm saying? Like
Jeez. Yeah.
it's somewhere close to Portland. You know what I mean? Where his family's at. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So hey, maybe in a year or two when LeBron's done, maybe he goes play with Luca. You know what I mean? Never know.
Let's not say we did. Let's not do that. Like,
Yeah, you
let's
got
not.
Luca, and Dame on defense. I don't know about that.
You might as well be playing no defense, man. That is a drive-through ride. It's just gonna be boom, boom, boom.
Hey,
Like, come
it'll be
on,
fun
man.
on offense though. I'll tell you that.
It would be. It would be.
Maybe 4 years ago, Dame, but not this Dame, man. Like, listen,
Yeah,
let's
he
call.
before the Achilles he wasn't looking too crazy.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm
Yeah,
like, yo, this is why, like, I know teams are kind of like, I want him, but we're good. We're
yeah.
good.
I think Denver would be a good option too. I mean,
Denver.
they need some depth. So
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, you come off the bench, and like, but that's a conversation you probably have to have with him because a lot of these star players don't like coming off the bench. They don't like cutting my minutes because I've been a starter my whole career for every. It's all right, bro, but you
I'm a
have been
legend.
hurt. Yeah,
I'm a
yo,
top 50 player.
you gonna tell me to come off the bench? Nah, I
Yeah,
ain't doing that shit. That shit ended AI's career. That shit ended Melo. Look how long it took for Melo to finally accept his role on the bench. Some of these players don't want to do that. You gotta swallow their pride.
yep.
all right, another team that's done well so far in free agency is the Houston Rockets. They signed Clint Capella and as well as Dorian Finney-Smith. So I think right now, Houston's probably number 2 in the West behind OKC.
Yep.
What do you think of Houston's move so far in the free agency?
I like what they did. The Clint Capella, the KD. They feel like, and they got rid of Jalen Green. I feel like the Jalen Green thing didn't work out in the playoffs. I think that's when they really saw it was like, we like him, we don't love him, and we feel like this isn't the best place for him. So it's like, yo, let's go get someone else. You have Kevin Durant, you have Seven Sagoon. Now you have Clint Capella. And they really went all in. Like they were like, we got our coach, we got this. I know Knicks thought they were gonna get. I was like, I didn't see that happening. But now they literally look like the second best team. And honestly, this is it for Durant. Durant got to win with this team. At least has to make the Western Conference Finals. Love Durant. Think he's a great player, but this is a team set up to win now. Because honestly, this is 2 years. Because remember, as much as we love KD, he's another person who's injury prone. He won't play games. He'll miss 20 games at least a season with a hamstring, with a foot, with this. This is it.
Yeah.
AD, you gotta win. You gotta win. Even if you don't win, get to the Western Conference Finals. That's all I gotta say about this. Because this team is locked and loaded and ready to win.
Yeah. I think the Durant trade, all these trades, are, like you said, to win now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all going to depend on Durant
Yep.
because the reason why they got Durant was because they didn't have that scorer at the fourth quarter
Mm-hmm.
to take over. So if Durant's not playing or he's hurt or something happens where he's not meshing with the team or the organization right, they're back to square one because nobody on that team is going to give it to Capella to score. Then they give it to Van Fleet. Then they give it to Sengun. You know what I'm saying? Those guys are great players, but they're great players to keep you in the game
Yep.
at the end of the game where Durant finishes it off.
Yep.
So it all depends on Durant. And I feel like he's older now. Like you said, more injury prone. And I feel like a lot of teams have tried to depend on Durant, and it hasn't worked out. We just haven't seen it. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen it. They tried it in Brooklyn. They tried it in OKC. They tried it in Phoenix. You know, worked out at Golden State, but he had Steph Curry, he had Klay Thompson, he had Draymond Green, they had DeMarcus Cousins, they had Sean Livingston, they had Andre Iguodala, they had a whole fucking coach over there with veterans and great players. It's the only time it worked out where Durant could just show and play ball. Didn't have to worry about leading. He didn't have to worry about you know making speeches to the team. He didn't worry about nothing. Yo, all you had to do was show up and play ball. That's what Durant's good at, because that's all Durant wants to do.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So if the Rockets could create an environment where he could just show up and play ball, then he's good. But if now the burden falls on Durant, and let's say they don't start off too hot, let's say he misses a game winner or two. Let's say that shit starts going on. Now you got questions. Hey Durant, do you think that's not working out here? And you know how he gets. What do you mean it ain't working out here? Yo, why on my dick? Yo, why y'all know how to play ball? Who the fuck is y'all? Yo, y'all ain't shit. He's on Twitter. Oh, fuck y'all. Y'all ain't shit. And then what's that doing to the team? The team's like, oh, here this guy go. You know what I mean? You know, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But on paper, they look crazy. You know, Clint Capella as a backup, that's crazy. You know what I mean? And they still re-signed Steven Adams.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So they have a lot of depth at every position. So we'll see how that goes, man.
Yeah, I think the big key is Ahmed Thompson. He really started to play real well towards the end of that series against Golden State. So that's the guy that they don't want to trade. He's that young player that they don't want to trade. So let's see if he steps up. Let's see playing Durant helps the shot and stuff. So I think Ahmed Thompson is really the key for the Rockets if they want to make a big run this year.
Yeah, he was really good this year.
All right, the next team is the Denver Nuggets. They've made a couple big moves. First, they made a big trade with the Nets. They finally got rid of Michael Porter Jr.'s contract, and they were able to get Cam Johnson as a result of that. They also signed Bruce Brown, who was on that finals team a couple years ago, and they made a big trade with the Kings to get Valanciunas in exchange for Dario Saric. Sounds like with the Valanciunas situation, sounds like they're not going to let him buy out his contract, so he's going to stay with the Nuggets. So that's big news for them. So where do you see the Nuggets in the Western Conference?
At their peak, they can be the second or first, depending on the OKC. I really feel like they got a lot better with the Jonas coming over, and they got rid of Michael Porter Jr. for a younger and slightly better Michael Porter Jr. and Cam Johnson. And they got rid of that contract thanks to the Nets, of course, doing the Nets things, and I'm not trying. Okay, and they got one of their key players who helped them win the championship, the Bruce Brown. You know, he come off the bench and stuff like that. I think Jonas helps out Jokic. Valanciunas helps out Jokic. So now you have a really good friend. You still have Aaron Gordon there. I think if this team can get together, it can make a real big running, because I think Denver, of everyone, really looks good with all these pickups. They look like, yo, this is it. Like, yo, because I don't know. There's a lot of Jokic noise going on right now. A lot of Jokic. They don't know if he's going to stay. Don't know if he want to go. You got people leaking out stuff. You got to win now to make Jokic, your star player, want to stay. Because remember, it's all about your star player staying right now. They run the team. If this team does not make it out certain way, you might be losing Jokic.
Yeah. I definitely like the Cam Johnson pickup, because I think that's what they were missing in the OKC. Remember, Denver took OKC to 7 games, and Michael Porter Jr. played like shit. You know what I mean? And now you have Cam Johnson, where I feel like he's more of a consistent scorer than Michael Porter Jr. And he's basically just like Michael Porter Jr. He could create off the dribble. He could shoot. You know,
he's a better defender too.
Yeah, I think he's definitely an upgrade. And Valanciunas to be a backup center, I thought that was a great pickup. I think they're probably the second best team in the West, because they didn't have these guys and they took OKC 7 games. So now they have these better players.
Yep.
You know, veteran players. You know, you could even do a lineup where it's like, fuck it, I got Valanciunas and Jokic play at the same time.
Yep.
And Hartenstein and Chet. You've seen Chet struggle with size. You know what I'm saying? Pause. You've seen Chet struggle down the paint with a fucking guy throwing that body into him, and he's fucking flying backwards to the crowd. So this could be good moves. The only thing that I would say is negative about the Nuggets is the coaching.
Yeah.
You re-signed that coach. I don't think he had really much input. I know Jokic is sitting there like, no, but he was with us during the other regime. He was actually around for a long time, and we're here. We gotta say, and then the next minute, Jokic has the fucking clipboard in his hand, and he's smacking it, and he's screaming at the guys in the court. I'm like, dude, who's coaching? Is it fucking Jokic or is it this guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes that puts players in a bind because I feel like that's why a lot of times LeBron lost a lot in the finals.
Yep.
Because LeBron didn't have that coach. Like Jordan needed Phil Jackson and Pippen to win those championships.
Mhm.
Because Jordan could be like, they're probably all in the huddle, and Jordan's like, yo, I think that if I give it to this guy, and Phil's like, you know what, you're right. Give it to this guy, but what if you come up a screen and then he passes it to you, he passes it back to him? Oh, you're right. Yeah, let's do it like that. And that's a game-winning play. You know what I mean? Where Jokic is in the huddle and he's like, yo, I feel like let's do this lineup. And the coach is like, whatever you say, Mr. Nikolai Jokic. And it's like, dude, you don't have another voice there telling you to, like, switch it up. You know what I mean? And that's the only spot that I would say is a problem because I'll tell you one thing. Zaza called it in the finals. Rick Carlisle versus fucking Dagnant, whatever the fuck his
We
name
don't
is.
know his name. Just call him the
Yeah.
OKC coach. We don't know his name. We're not.
Fucking
Mark
Dagnant,
Dagnall.
whatever his name is.
Mark
Whatever.
Dagnall. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dagnall. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever.
Dagnamit, whatever his fucking name is. You
I'm
know what
telling
I
you,
mean?
man.
Like, that was a lot of the why OKC was taking the 7 games.
Mhm.
Because Rick Carlisle was out coaching this guy. And that's the only problem I see with the Nuggets. But the moves, I do like the moves a lot.
Yep. Like speaking of the coaching, this kind of reminds me of. Remember when LeBron had that coach, the coach who didn't get hired again, the one he
Oh,
kind
David
of
Blatt.
yes, kind of seems like Jokic is dealing with a David Blatt type of coach right now, and until they get that shit in check, that's probably might be one of the reasons why Jokic he don't like what's going on. He don't like the coach. It could be a
Yeah.
thing.
But Jokic co-signed him. I think because Jokic is like LeBron. See, LeBron never had a coach like that because
Mhm.
LeBron wanted to coach the
Coach
team,
the team. Yep.
basically. You know what I'm saying? He wants to run the franchise.
Yep.
And what LeBron don't understand is that's why you got 4 rings, dude.
Mhm.
Because you need a Phil Jackson.
Yep.
You need those kind of guys. You know what I'm saying? You need a Chuck Daly. You need a Pat Riley. You need these guys. And those guys are too, like, even though Pat Riley was in the general manager position, him and LeBron clashed.
Yeah.
How many stories have come out now that he took LeBron's cookies away and he fucking was, those coaches rubbed LeBron the wrong way.
Yep.
That's why he got 4 rings. You know what I mean? And, I feel like Jokic is going down that same path. He might be stuck with that 1 ring because he wants to run the team.
You get in your own way sometimes.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
All right, a couple quick ones here. The Lakers signed DeAndre Ayton. Do you think anything of this move?
They got, because everyone said they needed a big man, so I think they got some. But which Ayton are they getting? You're gonna get the Phoenix Suns Ayton, or you're gonna get the other Ayton where it was like he missed out a game because it's like, yo, come on, bro, like you either in or you're out.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. I don't really see, unless the Lakers make a different move, I don't really see them making noise. They'll probably win their games like they usually do and stick around where they're at.
I think it gives Luka that guy to lob to because Luka loves those centers that he could go in the paint and lob it to. But I think the Lakers they need I think they should sign Chris Paul. This Chris Paul's last year. You can sign him for the vet minimum.
Yep.
I play with LeBron. We've seen Chris Paul have success with DeAndre Ayton. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? What the APB on DeAndre Ayton is that he's not very like knowledgeable of the game. Like he don't know where to position himself. He don't know kind of like to post up that good or where to go. So LeBron definitely will help with that, and I think CP3 will definitely help with that, knowing that he's played with him before.
Yep.
So I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I just think that the Lakers are a mess. That roster is just a mess. To me.
It's a really bad roster, man. It's
Yeah,
a
it's a
really
bad
bad
roster,
roster.
and I feel like LeBron is the type of guy like LeBron. His whole career, he's the type of guy that's like, if the season ain't going the way he likes it, he clocks out.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Or he starts throwing temper tantrums.
So they
And
get the players that he wants.
Oh, to that
now,
point, I just remember this. So you guys don't make anything of this LeBron and like the clutch and them trying to, possibly talk about him trying to get out of LA. You don't make any of that.
He's
Okay.
not going nowhere. He's not going nowhere. No one. I don't think LeBron can really. He doesn't have that leverage as he once did. Like if we're talking about like 2019 LeBron, I'd be like, yeah, but come on, everyone's like, we don't know if you want to stay. We don't know if you want to go. You might retire next year. You might wait for your son. So it's like you might leave us because if your son goes somewhere. So there's too many variables with LeBron to really want him. That's why I think he should stay put at the Lakers. They'll put up with his stuff because they love drama. It's LA. He can't go somewhere else like that because he'll ruin their team. Like they can't possibly put that type of risk out for LeBron.
well, that shit's all smoke and mirrors. LeBron's doing this his whole career. He likes to fucking throw shit out there to make you talk about him. He'll
Mm-hmm.
he'll throw shit out there even during the finals. Oh, you talk about me? Okay, I'm playing at Cleveland with my friend. And he'll take a picture. And he knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He knows what he's doing, and he just likes to. It's part of his brand. He likes to keep his brand in the spotlight at all times.
Mm-hmm.
But it don't make no sense because you have your son there. The Lakers are the only franchise they're gonna sit there and develop your son. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You get paid 50 mil to play a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you're gonna trade? Like I said, 50 mil. You have to trade one of your players comparable to that salary.
You're not doing that.
So you're gonna trade like Cat gets paid 50 mil. Giannis gets paid 50 mil. You're gonna trade like a Giannis or a Cat or like a Jalen Brown for LeBron? Nah,
Nope.
no team ain't doing that. You know what I mean? And do you really want to deal with LeBron at this age? He's gonna
No.
come to your franchise. He wants a parking spot for him, a parking spot for Maverick Carter, a parking spot for Rich Paul. You gotta change the locker room. You gotta buy a new facility. You gotta get a new barber. You gotta get the fuck out of here. I ain't dealing with that shit, bro. Stay your ass at home, bro. Fuck out of here. Yeah, you gotta get him a new guy who knows how to cut his hair because his hairline's back here. So I gotta know how to put the hairline with the Beijing on it. Fuck out. I don't want to deal with that shit, bro. Good. Stay in LA, bro.
All right, moving on. So, obviously, this is a topic I can't really talk much about, but the Knicks are expected to hire Mike Brown as the head coach. So, obviously, we're good scumbag. What do you think of this and what the Knicks have done so far in free agency?
Yeah, I'm going first right here. Let's get to it.
Let him go.
This is what we're here for.
This
is what we are here for. No, but I figured like I wanted a big splash. You know what I mean? Even though like you know me, bro, I'll sit here and like bash the WNBA when shit don't make sense. I'll bash Marvel when they fucking do a new movie with Ironheart and shit, and it's like, why are we doing this? But I did want to see Dawn Staley as the head coach. I did. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I did want to see the circus. You know what I'm saying? I would have came with that. You know what I mean? It would have been fucking nuts.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I feel like I never thought of her as a head coach of the NBA, but as I thought of it, I'm like, man, if a female could coach a team, it would be her. You know what I mean? Like, she's very stern. I feel like she could command the room. You know what I mean? And I felt like this would be a good chance. You're in New York. You know Rick Brunson. You're close with Jalen. You know what I mean? The sister put the picture up of them together.
Yep.
And I felt like the Knicks team, they're not hard asses where like they're not gonna be like, who the fuck is this bitch? You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
They have a
I
lot of
get you.
personalities on the team that will give her a chance. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So I did kind of want to see that, but I feel like the Knicks didn't want to steer too far away from Thibodeau.
Okay.
Remember, Thibodeau did win 50 games.
Yeah.
He did improve every year. So they didn't want to steer away too far from that ideology. Mike Brown, he's a veteran coach. He's still gonna play hard nosed practices. He's still
Mm-hmm.
gonna play defense. All the Knicks wanted from Tibbs was play the fucking bench, bro.
It's true.
That's it. Play the fucking bench. So Mike Brown's gonna basically beat Tibbs, and Tibbs gonna play the bench. You know what I mean? So that's why they brought him in, and you know, a lot of Knicks fans I spoke to them, and they like the hire. They like it. You know what I mean? They think it's a good a good move. So I can't really bash the move too much. You know what I mean? I'm the only one that really wanted Don Staley. Everybody was calling me crazy. You know what I'm saying? All my
It
Knicks fans like,
sounds.
what the fuck? Are you crazy? I'm like, hey man, hey hell no. I'm like, I wanted to see it. You know what I mean? But
Nah, respect.
good hire. I like the Clarkson pickup. I think if you think about it, he replaces campaign.
Mm-hmm.
That's an upgrade from campaign. And then I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name.
Gershon Yabusele.
Yabusele, yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. The French dude from he played in Paris and he dunked on
yeah,
LeBron,
yeah.
right?
So
Yeah.
I wasn't too like knew of him too much, but surprisingly my son knows of him, and Kofi knew of him. So I was looking him up and stuff. He looks like he's a good player. Definitely an upgrade from Achua that we had. So hey, you gotta say one thing: the Knicks upgraded the roster. You know what I mean? They're even looking at what Kofi said in the chat. Looking at Ben Simmons. You know what I mean? Is Ben Simmons someone that uh that we really want on the team? But at the same time, he's the guy who's gonna play defense. You're gonna be the fucking 10th guy off the bench. Come and play defense and pass the ball, bitch. You know what I mean? You can't do that, then just retire. You know what I mean? So if you can come in and do that, but like I said, that ain't guaranteed. They just reached out. They spoke to him. That may not be nothing, but I like the moves. And hey man, right now, man, Tatum's out. Celtics looking kind of crazy. Pacers they lose Miles Turner. Halliburton's out for the year. Hey man, it looks like what does Stephen A. Smith say? Orange and blue skies. That's what it's looking like right now. It's looking like a clear way. Besides the Cavs, it's looking like a clear way to the finals this year. So we'll see where it goes, man.
Okay. Anyway, we don't mention Ben Simmons'
Yo,
name on
don't be
this
mad because the
podcast.
Nets
We
ain't
don't
shit.
mention Ben
They
Simmons'
had
name on
five
here.
fucking
We do
first round
not.
picks,
Oh
and they
God.
picked five duds. All right, don't take it out of the
Can
Knicks.
I didn't take it out. I just don't need this type of energy thrown at me. You were going great. I was like, yo, he's going there. Then he said, yo, we want Benson. I was like, this motherfucker of all people you can mention. Ben fucking do
Yeah,
you not remember what he did?
yeah, yeah. That's right. Bring the fur out. Bring the fur out on the bench. That's what he's gonna be there for. He was gonna wear the Gucci fur and the fucking UGG boots on the bench.
I hated how he said he never wanted attention on him, but wore the most ridiculous things on the sideline and stuck out. Come on, bro. Like I get it. Like, yo, you wear incognito, but yo, he had the orange jacket on, the glasses. I was like, yo, bro, you know what?
Yeah.
Fine.
And
More
he be
power
in New
to
York,
him.
bro. You go to all the New York Fashion Week. Come on, man.
Oh,
We're made for Ben Simmons.
fucking listen. That was he would play for like 10 games and be like, yo, he looks good. Yo, back hurt and he's gone.
Yeah,
I was just
yep,
like, yo,
yep.
yo,
Get the icy hot. That's it. It's over.
it's all right. It's okay. But my thing with Mike Brown, they're both from the same coaching tree. What are we talking about? Like they both do the same things. I get why he is like that, but like some your son was like, yo, but he was like coach of the year. I was like, yo, but he got fired pretty much after this year. Well, LeBron didn't want him, Kobe didn't want him. I'm like, yo, that kind of sticks out. Like I think he did really good with Sacramento, but he's kind of like Tibbs. They always kind of phase out after a while. Like you guys made some good progression. I think this is a year for you guys. Like he needs to at least make Eastern Conference Finals, potentially Finals for me to be like, okay, this is good. Because if not, if it's another Tibbs, he's just darker. That's really what the fuck this
Yep.
is. Like
Yep.
he had LeBron and like, bro, he got out coached by like Greg Popovich to no end because he don't change. Him and Tibbs are the same person. They do the same things. Like, yo, when it works, it works. When it doesn't work, they don't change. It's like, bro, y'all can't do that as coaches. Maybe if he comes here, I think maybe he can start changing. Like he went to Sacramento. He lost game 7 against the Warriors. Against the Warriors. Come on, bro. You can't do that type of stuff. But that's
And he lost the
that's
locker
he.
room.
Yeah.
He loses the locker room everywhere he goes.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, yo, those first 2 years are great. Then he loses the locker room, he loses the leader. Like, how long is it before he loses Jalen Brunson? Or he gets upset, him and Jalen Brunson's father get into it. Because remember, he didn't bring Jalen Brunson's father in. That could be a potential issue right there. So I get it. I get you guys wanted. I'm not gonna lie, if you guys had went with the Doncic, that would have probably been a fresher move. But just like I feel like all you guys did was just you went from Tibbs, you just pivoted to the right, and you went with another. I'm like, what? You
Yeah.
waited and you fired Tibbs just to get Mike Brown?
Yeah.
Nah,
I felt the same way when I saw the hire at first, but I warmed up to the idea when other Knicks fans were like, "Come on, man, think about it," blah blah. And I'm like, "All right. I mean, what am I gonna do? He's hired. He got 2 years, and you see they signed him to 2 years, right? 2 years,
yeah.
correct? So they're like,
I think
"Bitch
it's a
got 2
4-year deal.
years,
I think it's 4.
4." So
Yeah.
hey, and this guy's got like he's getting paid from 3 other teams, right? He's getting paid from.
Bro, come on,
He's
man.
getting paid from the Kings, from the Warriors, from for every time
Probably
he
the
got
Warriors because he was
fired.
only an assistant coach there. So
Yeah. But the Kings are paying him right now,
yeah, the
right?
Kings are bad. Yeah.
And the Knicks are paying Thibodeau still. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
We'll see. We'll
But
see.
like I said, this is the year for you guys to honestly make a move. Pacers are gonna be in the quorum. They lost. Halliburton and Miles Turner's not there anymore. The Bucks, I don't know what they're doing with themselves. The Celtics have literally blown up their team from like 2 years. They won the championship 2 years ago. It's a completely different team, which to me is just like, yo, y'all were like, we win now, that's it, and we move on. The Cavs, listen, I haven't trusted the Cavs in years since LeBron's been there. Like they could win 70 games and I still would never pick the Cavs. Absolutely would never pick the Cavs to win a championship. That's just the type of team they are. They pat on the stats. I don't
They're
know what
regular.
else for
You're
that.
saying they're a regular season team.
Regular season type of team. Regular season type of team. They've always been that.
I think the wild card. I think the wild card in the East is Philadelphia. In my opinion, because they have Edgecombe, the first round pick. He looks like he's good so far in that first summer league game. Obviously, Embiid, you got to worry about his health. But if you can have him healthy, Paul George, Maxey, that looks like a good team to me. So I think they're the wild card in the East.
But the thing with the Sixers is, does Paul George what Paul George are you getting now? Remember, is it Paul George who wants to do podcasts, or is it Paul George who wants to play ball? He has to decide.
I think either way, he's a diminished player. So you just gotta hope he's 75% of what he was in his prime. I think that's the best you hope for.
I think I would trade him and get something for him because I don't
Who wants
know
that contract? That's not a good contract.
You're just holding on to a player who's injury prone and older. This is a Dame Dollar situation, right? This Dame Dollar situation even worse. So like, and he wants to do podcasts and guests.
Yeah.
Like it's like, bro, okay, cool.
Once he said, and end of the year, I think it was like 20 games left or 15 games left. Like, oh, I'm gonna start the podcast now, and I'm gonna focus up now. There's 15 games left. What the fuck? And then all of a sudden he had 5 games, and he's like, oh, my back. Well, back to podcasting. What? Like
that
the
man wanted to
fuck?
do that man wanted to do podcasts, bro. Like, yo, for
Yeah.
me, I have no problem. I have no problem. You want to do podcasts, but don't hold the team up as well. Like, you can't have one foot in and one foot out. Like, it's like, don't do that. Don't hedge. Just if you want to be a podcaster, be a podcaster. If you're like the Knicks would do when the playoffs came, Jalen Brunson and what's
Josh
his
Smith,
name,
Josh Hart.
Josh Hart. They canceled the podcast. They're like, yo, we come back. That's what you need to do. You need to lock in, but he's not trying to lock in. His career's set. We got to do nothing anymore. He's Paul George. If he retires this year, his jersey's gonna get retired in Indiana. Motherfucker doesn't care about the game like that anymore.
I
Like,
don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that either.
oh,
But the kid, there's college kids calling him the GOAT. I
that's
think
what I'm trying to say.
I'm
Kids
like,
look up to him.
I
all
can see
right,
it though.
bro.
He had his game when he was younger. It was a smooth game. I can see why the younger fans, the younger players looked up to Paul George. So
Man,
I
I
can
had a
see why.
kid tell me Paul George was a top 7 player, bro. I'd stop talking to him, bro. I was just like, you got it, bro. You absolutely got it. You've been watching basketball for 5 years, but you fucking know ball. You got it.
Yeah, but we'll see.
All right, next topic here. The Miami Dolphins and Steelers made a trade. Jalen Ramsey is heading to the Steelers as well as tight end Jonnu Smith. And for the Dolphins, they're going to be getting Micah Fitzpatrick and a pick swap. So I saw Peter Schrager, who now works at ESPN. He said these moves are all in. They're all in this year, the Steelers. And I was thinking, all in for what? To
To
make
be
it the
9-8.
divisional round?
Yeah, to be 9-8 again. To be 9-8 again.
So, Cesar, what do you think? Obviously, you have your thoughts already about it.
I just feel like this is just two mediocre teams just trading players and just doing a swap. The Steelers are the only team I've ever seen just invest in defense like no other person. I was like, okay, so you got rid of Minka Fitzpatrick and you got older with Jalen Ramsey. Listen, love Jalen Ramsey, but he's old. He's an old cornerback. Like, he's not the Jalen Ramsey of the Jaguars or even of the Rams. You gave up a good young talent at Minka Fitzpatrick. To me, that just shows.
Well,
Yo,
I don't know if it was good. I saw some clips where he was getting beat badly last year. So
I've seen Jalen Ramsey get beat too. Like, it happens to the best. I'm not saying but I'm saying, like, yo, that was a name. People liked him. But now it's like, now you have an old quarterback, old cornerback. The fuck is this team gonna? You know what? But that's who the Steelers want to be. They want to pride themselves on defense. They want to pride and fucking John. Listen, I love it because I don't like the Steelers anyway. You know what? Be happy. You know what? Steelers fans, I'm applauding your moves. I love it. I love it because when you go and you know what they're going to do, they're going to praise themselves because Mike Tomlin had another winning record but got nothing to show for it. That's what they did last year. Same shit. Same shit. They'll start off 8-2 and then lose the last couple of games. So shout out to the Steelers. Ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed.
I definitely think it was a lateral move. As far as Fitzpatrick and Ramsey,
Jalen. Yep.
but I think the key was for the Steelers was getting Jonnu Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't have a second receiver right now, and the way they run that offense, they're probably gonna run a lot of two tight end sets. They'll have him and Fremuth out there.
Yeah.
They're gonna have DK Metcalf outside there doing a lot of one on ones, hopefully one on ones because he's the only receiver out there. So they're gonna try to double team him, and they're gonna just run the ball down your throat with Caleb Johnson and Jalen Warren. They drafted Caleb Johnson pretty high. They say he's a great running back from what I'm hearing. 'Cause I do my football fantasy fucking research, and I'm seeing a lot of reports on Caleb Johnson. They fucking love Caleb Johnson. So they're gonna be a run team, and they're gonna try to run the ball and see where that goes. But I don't know. I don't think there's a big splash moves. You're still competing in the
AFC
where you're
North.
facing the Ravens, you're facing the Chiefs, you're facing the Bills. They're not beating those teams. You know what I mean?
Think
You're not beating those teams.
think
You
about
look,
it like this.
look if you beat the Bengals. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so I don't know what that term is all in because it's like, dude, how are you all in with old ass Aaron Rodgers? Like you're not all in, bro. You're basically one bad game away from this guy fucking going to fucking Germany and eating some fucking mushrooms and never coming back. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, cool trade to talk about, but I don't think it does anything really to their team. Maybe
And
I'll say 10-7. They'll go 10-7.
bro,
Yeah, I think the best case scenario for them is get the fifth spot. Maybe if they face Houston in the first round, they could beat Houston, and then in the divisional round, they're probably going to lose. It doesn't matter who it is. It's Buffalo, Kansas City, or Baltimore. So I think that's the best case scenario for the Steelers, in my opinion.
I've never seen a team like the Steelers are still old school. Yo, we're gonna have two tight ends and we're gonna run the ball in a fucking passing league. Yo,
Yep.
gonna be hard nosed and run the ball. All right, bro. So you got it. You apparently y'all smarter than everyone in the league. With an old quarterback who can't even run, and in this league you need mobile quarterbacks. You got Aaron Rodgers, who's either complaining on a podcast or on drugs. There's three things he's doing in his life right now.
Who's the who's the who's the OC? I think the OC is the guy from the
Arthur Smith.
Falcons, Arthur Smith, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's what he does. He runs two tight end sets and he runs the ball down your throat. That's what they're trying to do. Yep. Arthur Smith.
Oh, you can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up.
We'll see how that goes. They ain't going nowhere. Whatever.
We know how it's gonna go. So like we know else to
They'll
talk
probably
about
make
the Steelers
playoffs,
team.
so that's.
Oh, I said that they're gonna be 9-8. They're gonna get that last wild card and then lose, and then everyone's gonna be like, "Well, what happened?" Aaron Rodgers, he's gonna throw a shot. He's gonna be like, "Yeah, Mike Tomlin didn't trust me enough." He's gonna make those wild things in the press conference like he usually does, or he'll wait for Pat McAfee show and say his ridiculous, ludicrous stuff on there. So.
Yep.
All right, moving on. WNBA news. So they're going to be expanding to 3 new markets starting 2020. I believe 2028 in I believe it's Cleveland, 2029 in Detroit, and in 2030 in Philadelphia, as well as they're going to be sending next year to Portland and on Toronto. So I know Scumbag. When I said this, you had a lot of takes about this. So we'll start with you. What are your thoughts on WNBA expansion?
Yeah. I was kind of trolling, but kind of not. I don't know. It's let's say I put this right. So I have sisters that played basketball growing up, and the sister who I was with today, she loves the WNBA. Like I give my sister one thing. Like she posts about the WNBA on her stories.
It's dope.
Like when the All-Star game is going, and she's an Angel Reese fan.
Yep.
When they do good games, she posts up highlights and everything. Oh my God, what a game today! I watched the game today. I'm like, yo. One time I messaged her, I said, I give you one thing. You watch the WNBA. Women don't watch the WNBA, but she watches it. So, I'm not trying to be too hard on the females here, but like you're losing money every year, and it was crazy because we know the NBA pays for the WNBA to exist, and
Yep.
I don't know how they got this approved, but from my thing, I don't know if we should look this up, but from what I've read a story on Dolan on the Knicks, they've been trying to expand the WNBA for a long time. And you have to get the owners from the WNBA to vote on it, yes. And Dolan was the only owner voting no, because he was like, yo, they're losing money every year. Why are we spending more money to expand them? What the fuck are we doing here? You know what I mean? And what people don't know about how the NBA works is that, see, like in baseball, there's no salary cap. So therefore, like the Yankees, the Dodgers, these teams that make all this money through ticket sales and merchandise, they gonna put it right to the players. So the Knicks are a top 5 franchise. But what the way the NBA works is that they want everyone to win. So let's say the Knicks and Lakers are making a lot of money. They gotta give since they make a lot of money, they gotta give like they're taxed most by the NBA. So he's like, bro, you're taxing me already. You know what I mean? Taking a lot of my money, okay, to give to the WNBA that's losing money, and then you want more of my money to expand them? What the fuck are we doing here? You know what I mean? So I was more coming in the chat with that perspective.
Mhm.
Like, dude, how are we giving these women more money? They're losing money. They're like, women are the only people, right? Like, in the world, like, women are the only people that you will literally throw money at. Listen, there's women out there you invest in, right? I
Yep.
know there's great women out there that you give money to, like Gucci Man, right? Gucci Man went to prison, gave his girl a bunch of money. She doubled it, tripled it. He came out of jail, so a lot of money. But let's keep it real. 9 times out of 10, if you gave a girl $5 million, that shit's gone. She's gone, bro. You like 9 times out of 10, investing in a woman is a losing investment. You're not you're not seeing that money. But guess what? Us dumbass men will keep giving the money to them. Here you go, because they got a pussy. You know what I'm saying? Here you go, baby. Ooh, you look really good. There's millions of dollars that go to strip clubs. Why are we throwing money at girls at strip clubs? They're not fucking you. Here you go. What the fuck? You know what I mean? This is the same concept. This is what we're doing here. It's time to wake up, guys. All right? It's time to wake the fuck up. But, besides that, hey, man, fuck it. Have at it. Get your fucking 2 franchises. I'll tell my sister, have fun watching the league. You know what I mean? But we'll see. We'll see how it goes this year. Maybe they're making money because I actually wanted to go see Caitlin Clark.
Mm-hmm.
She was playing the Liberty.
Yep.
And the tickets were expensive, bro. They were expensive. It was like going to a Knicks game, even though they
Yep.
pay at the Barclays.
Mm-hmm.
They can't fill up MSG, so they pay at the Barclays. But the tickets were expensive. You know what I mean? So maybe this year they make more money. We'll see when it comes out. But I think last year, I don't know if Kofi could look that up. How much they lost last year? What they lost, like 30 million, some shit like that. It was a lot.
Somewhere in that range, I think.
Yeah, they lost a lot of money last year. So hopefully this year's a different thing. Maybe it is, maybe not. I don't know. I gotta see it. I gotta see it to believe it.
Um, I'm happy for it. I think it'll be good because now you're putting the pressure on a lot of these women because you guys say you want the expansion, like my boy Scumbag McGee says, if there's an expansion, you have to show out. This is on you guys. They're giving what 3 teams, right?
Yeah. In addition to Portland and Toronto next year.
They are giving you 3 potential. You guys have to show out now. Like, I mean, I want to see Audra Wilson. I want to see Kayla Clark jersey. I want to see Angel Reese jersey because I've seen guys wear them. I need to start seeing women start wearing. It cannot like if this happens, it cannot be it's mostly the men supporting these teams. The women have extras. You guys always want for the equal pay. You guys always want this. You guys want that. Like he said, you're losing money. This is your chance to show out. Caitlin Clark, you got Angel Reese. Angel Reese she's been killing it the last couple of games.
I say this real quick. The players are doing their part.
Yep.
The players are doing their part. So, like you said, they gotta show out.
You gotta show out. Caitlin Clark is doing good. Aja Wilson, she's always doing. Got the WNBA All-Star game coming up. I want to see you guys go to that. Like this is the time. Yo, make this a big event. Because at the end of the day, if it turns out that they lose money in this season, now I'm not blaming no one on here. I'm blaming you guys. I'm blaming the women out here because I'm be like, they lost money because of you, not because of us. You guys got to support your women, man. They are killing it right now. Some of the games are actually really, really fucking exciting. And the fact that, but I don't hear too many crumbles about because I know some women fans that I know. Me and Kofi, we have one friend who's like completely in love with the WNBA, but like that's 1 out of like 50. You need more. You need more than that. That's what we're trying to say. Like, yo, it's cool you y'all watch NBA. These women deserve the respect and they deserve the love. So
I see more women watching the NBA.
You see what I'm trying to
Betting
say?
and parlays. I know. I follow women that bet that have parlays, and it's all NBA.
Yeah,
It's
I've
like,
seen the show. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Come
like
on.
you mentioned 1 year friend. I mentioned my sister. We got 2 out of 100. I mean, come on, dude, stop. Like, y'all need to start. Y'all need to start coming together for them because they're putting on. You can't say
Yep.
they're not. They're putting on.
And the thing is now, because you have a lot of girls who play basketball, like this is a good thing for them. Now they can be like, oh, yo, like that's crazy. Let me go out there. Let me see it. But if they don't see the adult woman support, they gonna hide it. They're gonna be like, I'm not gonna talk because you're not gonna support. That's the crazy thing about this shit. It's like, yo, if it's encouraged, they'll do it. But if they're not, they won't do it. I'm like, yo, this is kind of on the older women to do this bullshit. Like they need to show out. I remember I saw some clip where like, oh, what would you do if a man wore a WNBA jersey? Like, oh, he's zesty. So like he can't even wear the jersey to show support without being called out. Like, come on, man. That shit's
Yeah,
fucking crazy, bro, man.
yeah,
I think what's going to help is that these are strong sports markets, and in two of the cases,
Detroit
Detroit.
and Philly.
Yeah, not well. I said Detroit and Cleveland. They had teams
Oh, Cleveland.
before. They had teams before. So in Detroit's case, they had 3 WNBA championships. So there's history there, especially in Detroit. So if they bring back the Detroit Shock or the Cleveland Rockers in the case of Cleveland,
Mm-hmm.
so these are strong markets. Philadelphia, Philadelphia is a sports market.
Yeah.
yeah.
They ride or die for their team. So I think a Philadelphia WNBA team could definitely do well.
Good point.
And Philly fans, if they show the same love that they show for the Phillies and the Eagles and all them awful ass teams over there, if they can get that same type of love come on, man, that's what you need. You need a rabid fan base like that.
Yep.
All right, moving on. Pepper Ticks, as you know, it's a real popular segment. As I heard it last week with Yanko, they said your kids are really enjoy the segment. So, obviously, the thing everybody's talking about, the Diddy verdict. So, apparently, I'm trying to pull it up here. My phone's freezing, so let me get up here. Get it up here on the topics. So, Diddy hold on, let me get it here. So Diddy, he's not guilty in terms of sex trafficking and racketeering, but he's guilty in terms of transportation to engage in prostitution. And the sentences will be in October. So what are your initial thoughts on the Diddy verdict?
Scumby, you go first.
I don't know, man. I think that he's freaky, man. Okay. I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah,
Like,
pretty much.
I thought this was dragged. You know what I'm saying? Like, you bust down the guy's doors, you fucking put guns to his kids, and he did all this shit because he was freaky. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it goes to show to me there's something deeper Diddy was doing. You know what I'm saying? Pause. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, what he was doing. You know what I mean? But there was something going on there because in reality, the feds knew what he was doing, and they knew that this racketeering and all this shit wasn't gonna hold up in court. You know what I mean? But Diddy did something, bro, and the people will say it's because of the liquor thing. He sued the liquor
Yep.
guys,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't really know what it was that set them to go after him, but they wanted to destroy his name. That's
Yep.
all they wanted to do. This whole trial was to make him look crazy. Hey, mission accomplished.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The
he's
dude
pretty
looks
much done.
fucking. He looks crazy.
Yep.
He can never do another song again.
Nope.
He
He'll
can't.
try.
He can
He'll
never
try.
go on the track and say, "Take that, take that." That's done. That shit is over. You know what I mean? So they wanted to, for some reason, the feds wanted to cut his money. They wanted to cut his power for some reason.
Yep.
I mean, maybe we'll learn that about down the road. Maybe when Diddy writes a book or some shit, we'll find out. But that's all this was, man. That's all this was. And you know, he's probably gonna do. I don't know what they're gonna give him. Maybe time served. Maybe an extra 5 to 10. Get out on good behavior after 5.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we'll see where that goes. But hey, it's better than racketeering and fucking, a RICO charge that he's doing life and doing
Yeah.
40, 30, 40 years. You know what I mean? So I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But you gotta say one thing: he took up the trial. He really was like, fuck it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna say guilty and just take the 20 years. I'm taking the trial. I'm gonna fight this shit. He was all fucking court with gray hair, all fucked up and crying in court. And when the verdict was read, he fucking dropped to his knees, and his kids were there, and it was a mess, bro. But hey, we give Diddy one thing, man. All the fucked up shit he's had in life, he fights.
Yeah.
He's fought everything. He's fought
Mhm.
everything, and he's come out on top every time. You know what I'm saying? He's come out on top. But hey, man, he had to pay for. I think he had to pay for what he's done. You know, he blew up Kid Cudi's car. I mean, how many times he probably beat people up and setting dudes after people to beat them up? You know, Keefe D came out saying that he put the hit on Tupac. Like, the dude was just reckless.
Yeah.
He was a menace. He needed to serve some kind of time. You know what I mean? And I think that's what his karma was. His karma is whatever time he's gonna serve, and he's gonna come out. His career's over.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that's where it's gonna be. And that's it.
Pretty much what scumbag. They just wanted to make a name for. They wanted to take his name down part. I think the tipping point probably was the liquor. Like when he tried to sue the liquor, because he probably did other stuff, and they were like, "All right, bro, you need to relax. We got some stuff on you." And then he was like, "Nah." Diddy was thinking, because he's gotten away with so much shit. When you get away with it, you get a little reckless. He got a little reckless. He attacked certain people. He was talking about some people that are way too high up. They're like, "Yo, bro, cut it out," because everything in the case, I was like, I was hearing some stuff in the case. Like, I didn't really want to hear that, nor wanted to know that, and they kept making it popular. And it was like, "Yo, Diddy." I was like, "Bro, all right, we get it. He's nasty." But like, my thing to me is, he's nasty. But I'm like, but y'all went to these parties, so all of y'all are nasty. Like, all of y'all are nasty. So I'm like, that's just the thing I look about, because come on, they've been making Diddy jokes for years that Diddy's a weird dude.
But
Diddy's.
if you hear the testimonies, a lot of that shit was done like privately, like when Cassie or Daphne Joy, 50 Cent's baby mom, like there's a lot of shit he did. Maybe he had like after hours shit where like a couple of but a lot of artists came out and was like, "Dude, we went to party. There was just a party. We partied, we drank, we went home." Like, it wasn't a big orgy going on. All this wild shit that they're talking about. Like, none of that shit was going on. You know what I mean? So that's why I heard a lot of testimony. Like, a lot of this shit was done privately.
Yeah.
Like the dude with the Punisher came out and said, and the other fucking male prostitute, all that shit was done. None of them said, "Yeah, I was having orgies in the middle of a pool with Fresh Montana and fucking and Jay-Z and Beyonce, and that none of that was mentioned. Only thing was mentioned was, I was hired to smack Cassie with my dick and fucking put nut on her lips to spit on fucking Puppy's stomach. Like, that's the shit we was hearing.
It's weird, man. It's just, like, we got it. You got it. Like,
that's the shit you was hearing. You know what I mean?
And it sounds like it was all consensual adults. Like, it was like, "Yo, y'all all consented to this shit. Y'all signed. He paid y'all." Like, so I'm like,
yeah,
it is what it is.
Are you in court for this? What's
Word,
this?
that's what I was trying to say. I was like, "Yo, he's just a freaky dude," but y'all all are adults. This wasn't like something like, "Yo, you know what it is, what it is." But I just, like I said, they just want to make a statement out of him. It's cool. It's done. His career's done. Let's move on. I don't ever want to hear about another Diddy story, life, anything. Please keep that shit to yourselves.
Yeah.
I think the last thing I want to say is that crazy thing where it was like Diddy fans outside the courthouse bringing baby one.
Oh my god, bro!
I'm like, yo, is the Boondocks?
They were
What they call everything, man?
Where were they the whole trial? They were nowhere to be found. Then he goes, "Oh, not guilty." Also, they're outside with baby oil and jumping around. Like, get the fuck out of here! What the fuck is
How are you fans of this man? You're pouring baby oil on themselves. I'm like, yo, what grown adult is pouring baby oil on themselves in the fucking summer? You know what? I hate people sometimes. This is honestly one of the reasons why sometimes I hate people. And that, oh, God. See, another thing I tried to erase out my memory. Another thing I tried to erase out of my memory.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. He's just a nut ass freak bowl. That's all he is, man. That's it. That ain't illegal, all right?
Word, man. Ugh.
All right, moving on. Next topic. So I think I've seen this before, but let's see. So what is it? What was the topic? Sorry, I got distracted. So Rush Hour. So there was a thing where I saw a tweet where it was like they had a warning label about back in the '90s stuff like this was accepted and now it's not in terms of some of the humor, some of the depictions of all different time period. So obviously, when I started this group chat, you had your reactions to it. So I'm gonna start with saying, you had the biggest reactions to it. So what are your thoughts on this warning label on TV areas of Rush Hour, saying, warning people about certain things that happen in the movie?
It's like, yo, we really doing this? That's really the thing. Is like, yo, you have to put out a warning label because, yo, I was like, guys, back in the day, that was '98 when Rush Hour 1 came out, right?
Yeah, I
Yo,
think so. Yeah.
no one thought anything about it. Yo, he was making jokes. He was calling him, yo, you understand the words coming out of my mouth? I quoted that for at least years, saying that type of shit, everything that came from Rush Hour 1. The fact that we have gotten to the point where we have to put warning advisories on movies back in the day. I'm like, there's too many people who have too much fucking time on their hands who are just watching this shit and going like, yo, you don't understand how disrespectful that is. It's like, yo, please go touch some fucking grass and leave people the fuck alone. Leave these movies alone, people. Like, whoever is doing this stuff, because it's always someone who's on the TV who's like, yo, I feel like this is offensive. We need to put a warning to it. Go do something else. Go do something else. That was the time. Let it be. It was a great fucking time. This is honestly the reason why a lot of these times suck, because you got people like that in fucking power who try to censor every fucking thing.
Now, to be fair, there are movies back in like the 30s and 40s that you definitely need to put the warning layers on, for sure. Because
talking about the '90s, I'm not talking about the times where they did.
I'm just clarifying. That's all. I'm just clarifying on that.
It's a little different times.
Yeah. Especially those black and white films where like the women couldn't even talk back in the black and white film. You know
like where they getting smacked up. We're not talking about that.
What did you say? Hey, what are you saying out here? Hey, suck the bitch.
I'll send you to the moon. I'll send you to the moon. Wait.
Yeah, damn. Like, yeah, maybe that shit needs some fucking, warnings, but those aren't popular movies. Like, you probably see those movies like on TMC, like the Turner Movie Classic shit. So they don't really put warnings on that. Like, Rush Hour is more popular. But I just think that sometimes these agendas are being pushed by the higher ups because, dude, my son's 14 years old. The jokes are the same from when I was growing up.
Yep.
Like, you go to kids in high school, are the jokes censored?
No.
They're probably worse.
The same way.
They're probably worse.
Yeah. They're roasting each other the same way we grew up roasting each other. They're racist jokes. They're fucked up jokes, making fun of the kid's teeth and his hair and his this and the... Dude, don't tell me, like, when black guys get around each other and Puerto Ricans get around each other, we're snapping each other all day.
Yep.
All day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Kids, I mean, so who is this offending? I'm curious. Like, I literally watched all 3 Rush Hour movies with my son last summer. He didn't say shit. He watched it, he cracked up, he had fun, he loved it. End of story. So where are these complaints coming from? I don't see it on Twitter. I don't see it on Instagram. I don't see these complaints. Why are you putting this fucking warning in the beginning? It's like sometimes I feel like it's an agenda being pushed by the higher ups. In the same way, I go back to the movies, like to these Marvel movies. Why are we asking for these? Who's asking for these characters? The movies are flopping. The shows are getting negative reviews over and over and over, and they keep doing it. Why? Who's asking for this? Nobody. But you keep doing it. Who's asking for Morbius? Who's asking for Madam Web and Venom 3 and fucking Page the Hunter? Who's asking for these fucking movies that you're losing millions and millions and millions of dollars on? You just keep like, come on, what the fuck are we doing here? So I just think sometimes the higher ups do unnecessary shit, and to make us believe shit is going on. It's like the biggest okey doke the politicians and politics will always do. They'll use entertainment and politics to divide us.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mhm.
behind closed doors, they're doing it's the greatest magic trick in the world.
Yep.
Watch this while we do this.
Yep.
That's all it is to me
Yeah,
personally.
we saw a lot this week.
Yeah, that's all it is. And you know what I mean? Behind closed doors, they're funding Medicaid. They're taking away
Mm-hmm.
women's health care.
Mm-hmm.
They're fucking taking, ICE is not only taking away illegal aliens, but illegal hard-working aliens. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, you could say Obama got rid of a lot of fucking people during his tenure, but it was criminals.
Yep.
These guys are going into fucking Walmart and fucking construction places, getting rid of hardworking people. Now they're trying to get rid of people who were born here already and got their citizenship. Now they're saying you're also illegal.
Yep.
All that's happening in the government. But be careful with these Asian jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? So it's all bullshit.
Yeah, it's not gonna change anything in terms of how anybody enjoys these movies. I mean, it's gonna be we're gonna still watch them how we're gonna watch them. I just think it's I think it's just overreacting to the PC crowd and how some of them think, oh, this was acceptable back in 1998. How's this acceptable now in 2025? I'm like, different time period, obviously.
Yeah, yeah. But whatever. We'll keep seeing this dumb shit.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. All right, the last topic. How do you guys spend your 4th of July? Sorry, you scumbag.
Went to Dave and Buster's with my son, and we watched Along Came Polly. When I came home, had some ice cream, and that was it. And I was a little disappointed because in Belleville here, the fireworks were on July 3rd, which I didn't know. So I was like planning to go see it July 4th, and they already did them the day before. So the only ones around here was in Montclair.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I don't know why to go to Montclair. Then the fireworks supposed to be at 9 o'clock at night. That's late, and then it was the only one around here, so I knew it was gonna be fucking packed to the balls. So I'm like, yeah, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe next year. I saw Jersey City had like a thing going on over there.
Mm-hmm.
They have fireworks, they have food trucks and shit like that. So maybe next year I'll do that. I'll go to fucking Jersey City. 'Cause I did want to see fireworks this year. I just didn't get to see them, but I had time. My son had fun, so that's what mattered.
Uh, for me, I just hung out with some friends. We had some drinks out in the outside in front of the building. That's really about it. Just I think Kofi, you came over that day, or was that
Yeah,
that,
I was,
that
I
was the
was there. I
day?
was there. Yeah.
Okay, okay, yeah, and nothing too crazy. Just chill with some people, just talk, played, watch them play Uno. None big at all. 4th of July isn't something I really like because no one grills anymore. No one, I don't know anyone who's grilling anymore. No one has a lot of money because the food's expensive.
Yeah,
People
yeah,
forget food
yeah.
is fucking expensive. Like, uh, so like, yeah, nothing crazy.
Yeah, it's really crazy. It seems like the only holidays people really care about now is like Christmas and Thanksgiving. It seems like the other holidays it's just like, maybe we'll do something, maybe we won't.
They're filling
Yep,
Yeah,
holidays.
yep, but yep. That's about it, right?
yeah.
Yep.
All right, you wrap this shit up. Fucking podcast, PGN podcast, episode 80.
Hmm.
Once again, appreciate y'all being patient all day. I kept telling them, oh, I'm gonna be home at 4. I'm gonna be home at 5. I'm gonna be home at 6. And I actually got to sit down and do this shit at 7:20 around there. So appreciate y'all hanging in. If y'all tuned in, we got 70 people in here. Appreciate y'all. Saturday will be the next one. Just to let
Mm-hmm.
you know. Hopefully Saturday morning. And that's about it, man.
Yeah. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at PGN Pod and Twitter
Yeah.
PGN Pod, TikTok PGN Pod. And on YouTube, it's Bringing the Real. We post every Sunday, right? Every Sunday, post TikToks. So make sure to
Mhm.
follow us, man. Make sure to like and subscribe.
Word. But yeah, appreciate y'all, and we'll see y'all Saturday.
All right,
All
we
right,
out.
see ya.
Peace.